What's up? Welcome to Appu in Wonderland, boys and girls. How have you guys been doing? We are in February already. It's the 3rd. It's my day off. Enjoying the song is by a guy called Rainer, featuring Deva Parmal. It's called Invocation. And funnily, I just heard it day before yesterday at this music festival, you know, in this at this heart of this very commercial city. A place where you don't expect something like this to happen, you know. Of course, it was trance-ish festival. You guys would have figured that out. And of course, I go there to enjoy the music and have a good time. It was a full moon night, you know, full moon nights are special. So I just went to celebrate it along with a lot of other people. And one of the reasons why, before I get to the reason, what really struck me was about this particular event was that, like I said, it was in this heart of this very commercial city with like hotels and theme parks and really flashy stuff all around. And I was very skeptical about the experience. Before I went there, I was very skeptical about, okay, it's just going to be for namesake. It's not going to be genuine. There isn't going to be really much Psy music or something like that. And but then I was curious, so I went there. I really wanted to see what it would be like, if the freaks would turn out, if the odd ones out turn out. And they did, all of them did, and the experience was really genuine. I mean, in fact, I stayed back for the longest, till 11, 12 in the morning I was there. This thing starts at around 10ish. The gates open at 6, but the music actually kickstart by 7, I suppose, but the people only slowly turn up by 12, 1 o'clock. But I was there at 10, and when I reached there, I was a little skeptical because there wasn't absolutely anyone, just few people. In fact, we were the first ones. Not one of the many first ones, not exactly the first one. And the music was there, but hardly anyone on the dance floor. But things really picked up by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and the experience was really genuine. There was a lot of security people also with suit and coat and all that, all around the place, controlling this thing. Which is very unnatural for such a festival, There was a guy right there standing at the dance floor, and it was really odd. There is a bunch of people in costumes and face painted, and there's this guy in the suit and coat right there. It was really odd. But it didn't really matter to anyone out there. By 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I also was like, fuck them, let's just have a good time. And, let myself be free and enjoy the music and dance and all that stuff. Of course, like I was saying, I go there to have a good time. But there is another reason also I go there, to meet these oddballs and maybe connect to many of these people, who's not really commercial or mainstream in their thinking, and if really lucky, not just in their thinking, if I'm really lucky, I might meet some people who are not mainstream or commercial in their actions too. And this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. The balance always exists, in the collective consciousness, irrespective of what is seen or displayed, or really what is really absorbed in the collective, the major collective. uh, so yeah, to meet such people also, and these kind of people usually turn up in these festivals and stuff, like in hope again to connect with other such people. So what I'm trying to say is, it's the exhibition of the resilient nature of consciousness, just like how in that movie The Last Jedi they say, like, when the dark forces grow, or the dark side, not forces, dark side grows, there comes into existence an equivalent light at some part of the world, in some part of the world. And these festivals are as such, like that festival in middle of that city is one exhibition of the resilient nature of consciousness right there, and the idea of being beautiful, to actually see and be part of it, is really exciting and empowering. And I mean, that is what I really enjoyed about the event, more than the real event itself, and it being in middle of I mean, that event being in middle of that city, that is what really excited me, and it being genuine and true to its nature, that is really exciting. And this resilient nature can be observed all throughout the internet today. You go online and you just sit there and just observe the content. You will find doctors coming out and speaking against the pharmaceutical industry, how it is not about wholesome healing, and it's just about patching up the symptoms and hoping these people keep coming back to them. It's all about the money. How the teachers are talking about education, the nature of education being a very very docile, and it's about churning out programmed individuals to serve. Like how scientists are talking about science being very dogmatic these days, and it being in the modern era and equivalent to religion in the past. It's about controlling and keeping in check of knowledge, which could change the paradigm we live in. Politicians and people involved in governance coming and talking about the corruption that they observe, and they're being called whistleblowers, and they exposing the net of control that exists in the world today, and how everything else is just a charade. That the media just displays just a veil to keep people busy and occupied, and keep a sense of hope in them, so that they don't just stand up and take action, like how economists are coming out and talking about the financial system, how it's just a pyramid scheme to siphon real value, like land and rivers and food, and all these things, to siphon all the real value through long cycles of boom and bust, to siphon all of this to the designers and keepers and controllers of the economic system. And then there exists so many historians and archaeologists who are talking about history and archaeological findings, which completely overwrites the current existing narration. And why the old narration, why the newly discovered narration is important, is because it's extremely empowering for us human beings, And then you find all these technologists who are creating open source alternatives for every other possible closed source option out there. And then you find the media and journalists out there churning out mindless entertainment to keep people entertained and
to provide a sort of escape from the harsh reality that they exist in. To push content and stop them from seeing the other alternative content, informative and knowledgeable content out there. It's, I don't know. Can you guys see it, or is it just me? Is it just me that is putting all of this together and seeing this all being part of a large plan out there? I don't know if you guys perceive it or not, but I do perceive it, and I feel it is part of this resilience of the nature of consciousness itself. It's there to keep balance, and these festivals, these shows, these conferences, these talks, in all these domains I talked about all over the world is just, like a bunch of mushrooms popping up in the middle of nowhere to spread thousands and millions of pollens or ideas or thoughts or vibes, to bring about a vichara. And then they just die out. It just quickly pops up, poof, spreads around its pollen to its surroundings, like the event that happened that day, and then it just dies out. And I feel that is the order of nature. That is how nature is designed to be, and the balance need to be there, and I feel that is how balance is exhibited. I don't know how well I articulated this idea, but I hope it resonated with few of you out there. And that is all I wanted to share, guys. That's all for now. Namaste, people.